Hi, this is Safari from Scrappy Media, and today I want to show you how to create a quilling shape like you see here. So the idea to create quilling in a form of using my templates or shape is because in my Pinterest, I went on Pinterest and I started searching for quilling projects, and as you can see here, look at all these gorgeous quilling cards or images. Look at this one. And it's a form of a lady, and it's just very, very nice. I like that one, and let me show you the other one that I really, really like that inspired me to create this technique that I'm going to show you in a second is this one. Look how pretty that looks. But I wanted to start something simple like this bird. See how simple that bird looks? Well, not that simple, but it looks like it's something that I can do. So I'm showing you the technique how to do this same thing, but what we're going to use is either a template or a die cut or a stamp. I'm going to show you how you can do the same quilling technique with a stamp with one of my Prima dolls. So let me take you back to my video and let's go ahead and get started. So what you need to do is you need to you can use any kind of template. So I have different templates here. So I'm going to, for this one, what I did is I took the birdie and I took some white cardstock and I traced the birdie out. So either you make it facing this way or you make it facing to the right. But I went ahead and shaped or traced the birdie out. Okay, as you see there. And after I shaped the birdie out, I went ahead and created where I'm going to put the body. So I connected the areas. And where I'm going to put the body and then the wings, as you can see there. Then I created a lot of shapes. So I went ahead and took a 12 by 1 1/4 or 1 1/8 inch strip. And I twirled it using a twirling tool. And then I went ahead and put some adhesive on a piece of scrap, as you can see here. And I'm using Elmer's glue. I took my quilling needle, took some glue, put it on the edge, and I closed the quill like you see here. And then I created a bunch of different circles like you see here. So what I did is I pinched it on one side and pinched it on another to create a marquee. And then I bend it up, and that's how I started creating the body. So I went ahead and make sure that the shape will conform to the body. And I took some a tweezer and took some adhesive, put it on the bottom, then make sure that it conformed to my shape, and I held it down for a little bit. Did the next thing with the next shape. I kind of like created the shape of the bottom, and I took some adhesive hold it down for a little bit until it holds. Then you're going to take the rest of the body and you're just going to make the shape. You're going to crimp it and create whatever shape you need in order to conform the shape of your die cut or your traced element. And then to fill this place here, or this area here, I went ahead and did the same thing. So I created a shape and then one more shape here. So I created kind of like a marquise and just kind of pushed it down to create that kind of teardrop. And that will go here. And then for the middle part, you just basically just fill in the gap with your quilling shape. Okay, so see how I created the body, and then the rest of what you're going to do is you're going to take some black strip of paper, and then you're going to just, once you put all your layers, you're going to go ahead and kind of outline it. So that's what I did here. So notice that I went ahead and put the body, then I fill in the feathers and the head, and then I took a strip of paper and I put it around the edges. And then once I did that, I went ahead and cut the pieces out. Now this vellum is actually, what I did is I took a piece of vellum and I traced it out using my template, and then I cut the template out and I folded it according to instructions to create those feathers. And then what I did is I cut the feather in half and I put one half on one side and one half on the other. So that's what I'm going to do to create this embellishment. As you can see here, I started filling in the layers of her dress. So how I did this, I cut a lot of strips, 5 inches, and then I took my quilling tool and I went ahead and quilled a piece. You can see here, I let it uncoiled a little bit. Then I took my needle quill, or anything that I can use. You can use toothpicks, you can use the needle of your quilling tool, whatever you want to use. And I'm using Elmer's glue. And I'm going to take my quilling tool, or my little needle, and just put some glue in the tips. As you can see there, just a little bit of glue. And then I'm going to hold it. And once you hold it in place, you're going to squeeze it to create that teardrop. Let it dry for a little bit. You're going to take tweezers. You're going to take your teardrop. You're going to put some glue at the bottom of your teardrop. And then you're going to fill in the gaps. And see how I fill in that gap. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the gaps for the whole dress. Now the other thing that you do is, see the hair? What I did is I took a strip of quilling paper and I just put some adhesive on the bottom and then just placed it. So let me show you how to do the body. So I'm going to use some cream color for the body. And what you need to do is you need some pins. So let's go ahead and put some strips of quilling around the hand here, as you can see there. So you're going to take some adhesive and you're going to place it on the edge of your strip. Then once you do that, you're going to use some pins, and you're going to place it on either side of your quill and strip. And then you're going to use your needle to kind of help guide it. So I know I need some more adhesive on here. And so I'm going to put some a pin right where the corner of the shoulder is. I'm going to put a pin here. Make sure that's all the way down. And you're going to try to put pins in your areas that you're going to bend, just to make sure that it stays nicely down while it dries. Put another pin here. I'm going to take some more adhesive and I'm just going to place it along the line. Okay. Make sure this is all the way down. Put some more adhesive and some more pins. And you're going to put pins on either side of your strip, just to make sure it stays down. So you're just going to make sure you're going to put glue underneath. You're going to follow the outline of your stamp and then put in pins between any bends, and you want to put two pins on either side to make sure that you'll get that bend either on an arm or on whatever shape. Then you cut your strip like I did there, and I'm just making sure that I adhere some more glue where the arm meets the dress. And I think this is pretty simple to do with a stamp. And see how you start creating the form? Just follow the stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the dress, and I shall be back. So I ran out of strips, so I'm going to show you how to create new strips. Now, there's a couple of methods that you can do it. You can use it with a Fisker cutter, but if you use a Fisker cutter, it's not as precise for cutting the 1/8 of an inch. You can try cutting it. And even when I try to cut it, see how it's uneven? It's not really very even. So it's thin there, it's thicker here. I was having a hard time really consistently cutting it a 1/8 of an inch with a Fisker cutter. So that don't work. If you use a guillotine, so let me bring the other one out. So when I used a guillotine, I was getting a little more precise cutting. So let's see if I can cut 1/8 of an inch. But it was a little more challenging. I mean, I can go ahead and make sure I measured it really good and create a 1/8 of an inch, as you can see there. However, as you go further in, it was not as precise when you went further into the guillotine. So that wasn't working for me that well. So the next thing I tried, well, let me try the Martha Stewart, because I know embossing lines were 1/8 of an inch. So then I tried that. So I make sure I have it all the way squared in. And I will do it, let's see, so I have it squared in. And then I will go ahead and mark 1/8 of an inch. And then you come back with your cutting blade, and then you can take your ruler and you can just mark your cut. Just put it against the scoring area and then cut 1/8 of an inch. You know, if you don't have anything better, then you can use that and cut your scoring lines. It works okay. But the best thing I found, if you're going to do a lot of quilling, go ahead and invest some money in a shredder. So I found this shredder at Amazon, and it cuts 1/8 of an inch. So you gotta be careful on the shredder that you buy. Most of the shredders out there will cut 1/4 of an inch. You really need to find one that will cut 1/8 of an inch. So this is the mini paper shredder. It's a manual. I found it on Amazon, and it's by Good Quality, and it's a handheld shredder. So if you find an image that looks like this is a shredder, and this cuts 1/8 of an inch, and it works pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and let me cut my paper a little bit down to size, because it's about, let's see, the opening of the shredder is about 4.5 inches. So it's about 4 or 5 inches, and then you're just gonna hand crank it in. Okay, and let me go ahead and do the next one. And it's perfect to make your strips. It makes exact 1/8 of an inch strips, as you can see there. So there's my strips. And then what I need to do is cut these strips 5 inches. And actually, I'm just going to cut these in half. And then I can keep quilling. Just keep quilling to create your shape. And then just bring back your piece and then fill it in, and see how it's perfect. It's the same width as if you bought the kit like I have here. This is all strips that I have purchased, but you can create your own using a shredder, the mini shredder, and that works fine there. So I'm going to keep filling the layers of the dress, and I shall be back. So I went ahead and I finished putting all my quilling for the dress and the bodice and my arms. And I also put some papier opaque sunflower color from Plaid. I squeezed some of that on her hair, as you can see there. Now I am going to take some of my lace, and I'm going to put some lace on the bottom over here. So let me go ahead and see how that's going to look. So I'm just putting the lace, and I kind of like making some ruffles with the glue. So I laid the glue down and take my lace, and I'm just bunching, crunching it up or bunching it up together to make that ruffle. And then I'm going to cut it out. But look at my doll. So it really looks nice with the quilling, with the paint, and then some lace at the bottom. And I'm going to cut it out, and I'll be back and show you the final piece. So I cut it all out, and there's my piece. Now I kind of need something else. I want to make it a little sparkly. So I'm going to take some of my nail polish, and I am going to put some sparkly accents on top of my quilling, like you see here. And it's going to give a nice little varnish in addition to the sparkly. With the glitter, it's going to give it a nice little glossy varnish. So I think I'm done giving it some glitter. I'm going to let it dry and see how it kind of like glitters. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to make a layout using this embellishment. So I hope you like part 1 of this layout. So it's basically just making the embellishment. You can take any stamp. So this is a Prima stamp, or die cut, or template. You trace it out. You fill it in with simple quilling shapes like I have there. You cut it out, you embellish, and then that's pretty much it. Then you put it on a layout. So I hope you like this part of this tutorial. Stay tuned for the layout that will contain these pieces in a scrapbook layout. So thank you for watching. Bye now.